What up, Search fam? Sharde here. It's Tuesday. Grab your tea. Let's get started. Oh, yeah, that's good. Hello, my dear ones. I hope you are doing well, that your week's off to a good start. This tea, y'all, I did this. So this is a tea blend that I got when I was at BlurredCon. They made it specially for the conference. It has cornflower and blueberry, blackberry petals, sunflower petals. Really nice things. It's very refreshing. So I muddled some blackberries, squeezed a lemon, and put some brown sugar in it. I did that. It's really good. I'd had a moment with a friend where they stopped being my friend. And it was one of those situations where they ghosted me. And anybody's ever been ghosted, it doesn't feel good because it leaves you sort of with a lot of unanswered questions and you are left to resolve your emotions on your own. And it sucks. But I realized after I had sort of gone through, a day or so of feeling really bad about not knowing what was going on, trying to reach out, getting no response, the things that we do when ghosting occurs. And I had to sit with myself and I realized that it was okay. I thought kindly on my experience with that person, and I was able to say with gratitude, thank you, and within myself release that person and release any blame, any negative feelings towards them. And y'all, I didn't realize I am giving you a Mario power up, because I felt something immediately lift in me by doing that. And so I want to kind of impress upon you all the importance of releasing people with gratitude. And this is not to say that that is not a challenge. It is. And I think even harder when you're in situations where someone has done damage towards you, they've really hurt your feelings. They have maybe in some cases done emotional damage, psychological damage to you. It may feel ridiculous, the thought of thanking them and then releasing them. However, I do stand by what I said, because although we are not always in control of the things that happen to us, I think that we are responsible for our behavior following, whether that means going to a therapist or a trusted advisor or a safe space and unpacking the negative feelings, whether that is sitting with your feelings and all of that. We are responsible for that, and I think there are some instances where it's going to require more than us being able to release that person to resolve any negative emotions attached to it. But let's just say, for by and large, many instances, I think it's important to be able to take the experiences for what they are, good, bad, and different, and know that despite the actions, whether they were negative, they have the capacity to change us, but not for the worse. And by that I mean, we don't have to become embittered. We do not have to remain victimized by circumstances and situations that we had no control over. We have the capacity to allow those experiences for what they are, to recognize that they help to make us who we are. They may not have been our choice circumstances, but they do have something that there are lessons within them that we can distill out. I don't think everything happens to teach us something, but I think that everything that happens to us can provide a valuable lesson for us, whether it is on how to interact with people, how to choose ourselves first, how to protect our thoughts, how to choose those people who we allow in our lives more wisely, to understand that we choose our families, in the sense that all family is not bound to us by DNA, but sometimes they are bound to us by choosing to be with us. There's just a treasure trove of things that can help us to move in the direction of where we want to go and who we want to be. And in learning how to release people with gratitude, I'll be a little bit more concrete in this. There is one person that I consider he was one of my big loves. And he and I were friends. And we were friends for many years. And then we became dating-ish. But nothing was super clear. But also, we were both in our early 20s. And, you know, I don't know what happened, but he ghosted me. And my feelings were far more deeply steeped in that relationship. And it took me years. It took me years to be able to reconcile my feelings, because at that point I blamed myself a lot. I reflected for years on what I could have done better, what I could have done differently. And it took more than 5 years before I was even open to the possibility of romantically involving myself with anyone else. Allowing myself to receive an apology that would never come, which is another Mario power-up, is being able to accept an apology that you may never get. Because that's what we ultimately want many times, is when we have a fallout with someone and we know or feel like it's not our fault, and we lose contact with that person, what we ultimately want is that person to tell us they were wrong and to say they are sorry. And more often than I'd like to admit, you don't get an apology. You don't get closure. You have to provide your own closure. And time allows you to gain closure, not because you're able to reconcile the wrongs that you may have felt were done to you, or the wrongs you may have done to somebody else, or, you know, these can go both ways. But you accept that things were what they were. With this person in particular, after a while, the longer I had sit with this and the more that I had changed and grown, I was able to look fondly on that time period and who we were at that point, and realize a couple of things. One, who he was and who I was, those people are dead. Those people are long gone because we've evolved into different people. Life has happened. I am no longer the woman that I was when I loved him. And he is no longer the man that I loved. Because of that, I can't really hold on to that version of either of us, because that's unfair. And thank God that I am not the woman I was at that point, because I had no idea what I was doing. So you can mourn the loss of former versions of yourself, and we do that a lot. We can mourn from former versions of other people that you were engaged with in whatever way, and give yourself grace and be thankful that you have grown, that you've become a little different. And I think knowing that helped me to go, it was a good time, but maybe it wasn't our time. Which is another thing. Like, every interaction we have with people is not long term. There's an old cliche adage that says some people are with you for a season, some people are with you for a lifetime. And we can never be too sure which is which until the time expires or we change. And so those years taught me to be happy with the good times, be thankful for the good times, because it did open me up to a lot of things. I learned a lot of lessons about love that have helped inform who I am. But also, I could release my connection to that part of my life. Like, I still remember it, still comes out every now and then. But again, it's something I'm just like, oh, pleasant memory. And then you let it go. Because there is so much life to be lived. There are so many things to be experienced. And frequently, what derails us from the richness that life can have for us is leaning too far into the past or being worried too far into the future and not being present, examining what's going on around us, examining who we are at this very moment, and asking, well, where do I go from here? And knowing that we are ever co-authoring our own story. So the practice of gratitude, as I've said in other videos, is important because it does improve our perspective. It allows us to find more joy and happiness in the long term. So if you can get to a place where you step back and look at an experience for what it is and say, even if you say, I'm thankful that I got through it, and I thank me. Maybe you don't thank the other person. Maybe you thank yourself that you got through whatever the moment is and you release that person. So gratitude can go towards the other, or it can go towards yourself. And saying, you know what, Sharde? That sucked. That you should not have had to go through that. And I do have experiences in my life where there were things I should not have had to go through. And they were horrors in my own life. And I can still look back on it and say, I am thankful for no other reason than I made it past that. That moment did not take me out, and it does not cause me to take myself out. Thank you for that. And that I grew through the bad parts of that moment. And again, you still release that person. Because when you release people, it's not for them, it's for you. You release people so that you have space, that you have the capacity for more love, more joy, more happiness. You release others that no longer serve you, release situations that no longer serve you, to provide more space within your heart and soul and your mind for more goodness. Because the more you hold on to past experiences that might have been damaging. I'm not telling you to forget them, but I'm telling you to release the grip you have on them. The more we hold them, the thing, whatever it is, the more it holds us. So if you release the thing, your hands are open to receive more. And that's ultimately what we want, is to be receptors and open to the good that we deserve. Because we all deserve good. We all deserve love that spills out of us and spills over. We all deserve to laugh and to experience life as if it were the sun shining on our face. And I think that's really what I'm trying to get at, is that gratitude and release makes us stronger, makes us better, gives us more space for the things that matter now. And like I said, we don't always do this on our own. Like sometimes you require a licensed mental health professional, safe spaces to land to help you to do that, and time. So it's important to have grace for yourself, give yourself time, grieve, mourn, be mad, but ultimately get to a place where you can either thank the person for the experience or thank yourself for surviving, and release, because it's for you. It's always for you. I pray sincerely that whatever you have a hold on and whatever holds you, you will be able to find reconciliation and peace from within. That you will accept apologies that will never come. That you will be thankful at the very least for your own strength, for your own fortitude, for your own unwillingness to yield in the face of hard things. And that will drive you towards more space within to experience goodness, unyielding goodness that abounds and spills out of your pores. I love you and pray your wholeness. I pray your joy. And I am here letting you know that I'm rooting you on. Wherever you are in your journey, I am rooting for you. I hope you have a good week. Let me know if this resonated. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.